So when I first got here, because of the way my travel, I flew in from Los Angeles. I was home seeing family, and I ended up taking a red-eye flight here that I left at 10 at night, and so I could get here before our check-in or whenever it was. So it was a very strange period. I showed up here. I got dropped off at the wrong place by my shuttle, exhausted and bleary-eyed. I had no idea where I was supposed to go. Followed different various goat signs. Came to the Yiddish Book Center and walked in, put down my bag, and just decided to start walking around. And I'm going to say it must have just been from exhaustion. But when I walked in and I saw this place that was filled with books in a language that I didn't know, but I was gonna know, it was the closest I think I'd had to a spiritual feeling in my life, where I remember I texted someone right after that it felt like, I don't know, the ghosts of all of the relatives, that as much as speaking Hebrew and davening gave me a connection, when I opened up the book and looked at it, it felt like there were thousands of eyes looking over my shoulder at the book, like asking me to read it to them. But I was also very tired. But yeah, so that was my first experience. And then I really thought that would fade. I was like, okay, I was tired, I'm 28, all this optimism, I'm past that. And then the first night, I was staying in the Yiddish-only dorm. And the first night we agreed we would speak English. And we talked, we got to meet everybody. And that night, people just started coming in with instruments. And I was sitting there and I was reading a book, and all of a sudden I hear Yiddish songs I know being played. And I'm looking out and I'm seeing people in their early 20s, some people 18, 19, 20, singing Yiddish songs in the kitchen. And they know all of the words, and they're songs that I've listened to, songs that have inspired me. And I thought, oh, I can't escape this option. I'm feeling this optimism again. Like, what is happening? I'm supposed to be jaded and old. And then that morning I walked downstairs, and half of the house is intermediate students, half are beginners. So beginners they're silent, or milk. And the intermediates just start speaking to each other, and they're speaking in Yiddish. And I'm seeing, 23-year-old from, Virginia, talking to a 25-year-old from San Francisco, dressed in a denim jacket and jeans, and the other person's wearing, red shorts and a yellow tank top, and they're speaking fluently in Yiddish, asking, if they made the coffee. And so that was how I jumped into it, and I realized that the culture here was as important as whatever I was going to learn, and that the culture here, my confidence in the program was, everyone's come here to learn something on their own. It's going to be hardworking. I'm past the actual age limit for coming in. So I was worried at first that maybe, these people are going to be younger, but I'm sure that they're all very mature because, they're spending their summer learning a language. And then I realized, oh, no, they're spending their summer living out the passion that I feel too. And that's what we're all here doing. We're all living our fantasy. And so that was kind of the first things that clicked in for me, that of course I wasn't alone. This place would be here if I was alone in that feeling that drew me. And then jumping right into language class was just, here's the thing. I've taken a language class in the past, and I have nearly failed every one I've taken. And from the first day of the language class, I was engaged, and not because we were talking about some 1920s avant-garde Yiddish poet that I had read in English. It wasn't because we were talking about the political expediency as Yiddish as an alternative to Hebrew. We were learning, how to say hello. We were learning what you call a house, what you call a street. And as we went through, the pedagogy of it is Yiddish is a living language. Yiddish is how you talk to somebody. Not Yiddish that, you could learn Yiddish so that you gear it towards reading Shalom Aleichem. You want to learn all the great words for wagon and all of the words for dusty, for, whatever it would be. But Asya was having us learn fruit and vegetables and times of day and the things that any French 1 textbook, any German 1, Spanish 1 textbook would do, so that you can get around the world and speak. And Yiddish was no different. And we speak in class, and that was the focus also, was not just sitting there to read the book by yourself. On my phone interview, I asked Asya if we were using Weinreich, and it was a long pause, and she said, no, I believe that that's for passive learning. I believe in active learning. And I didn't know what that meant, and I was just mortified. I thought I had ruined my interview. And then I got exactly what she meant, is it's if we don't treat it like a living language, then it's not a living language. Yeah, and so I've come to the point now where I can have a conversation in Yiddish. You know, working on being able to. My thought coming in here was, great, I'll be able to sit down and with a dictionary read Ansky plays, and I'll be able to do that also. But I never thought that, you know, I can go to a house in the Bronx and there's, you know, the Yiddish hoys there where people live, that there's a community where I can walk in that door and ask how they're doing, tell them what I'm studying, talk about some new album we like together. Have a conversation in Yiddish is, I think, the biggest thing I've got from here.